Hey, Chris here from IELTS Advantage. And did you know that the average score worldwide for IELTS writing is just 5.5? And most students fail the test or fail to get the score that they need multiple times before they finally achieve the score that they need. And what we're going to look at in this lesson is helping you achieve a band 7 or above a band 7 in IELTS writing with 20% of the effort for 80% of the results. Because the reason why most students repeatedly fail IELTS writing is not because there's anything really wrong with their level of English or their approach to writing or their writing skills. It is how they are approaching their preparation. And it's basically the fact that they are not applying common sense. Common sense would tell you that if you are struggling to get the IELTS score that you need, you would just identify the exact reasons why that is, you would fix those reasons, and then you would improve and get the score that you need. But the whole IELTS industry is set up in a way that doesn't actually lend itself to doing that very, very obvious thing. So I'm going to show you in this lesson exactly why that is, and show you exactly what to do to get the result you need with a small amount of effort. So this is not a video teaching you tips and tricks and hacks and shortcuts and how to cheat the test, because we don't teach that, because that doesn't work. This video is going to tell you how to identify the exact reasons why you're not getting the score that you need and how to fix those and then get the score that you need next time. Okay, so in order to explain why common sense is not applied during IELTS preparation, I'm going to take you back about 6 or 7 years when I worked for the British Council, and this is what the IELTS course that I worked on looked like. So it was an 8-week course, 4 hours a week, and this is what you'll see all around the world. So if you go to any course, it doesn't have to be the British Council, it could be most courses, it will be like a 20-hour or 32-hour course. And what they'll do is they'll teach you all about listening and about reading and about speaking and writing task 2 and writing task 1, and then say, okay, go and do the test, and then most people fail. Then you come back and they'll say, okay, do the exact same course again, which sounds absolutely crazy, but sounds even more crazy when you realize that most people have no problem with listening. Most people have very little problem with reading. Most people don't even need help with speaking. So they're wasting, on this particular course, they were wasting, or most people were wasting 5 weeks of their lives, because they might need a band 8 in listening and they've already got a band 8. They might need a band 7 in reading and they're already at that level. So they just wasted a huge amount of time. And then what that did was it meant that the last 3 weeks were very rushed and you couldn't give the students the attention that they deserved on the things that they really needed to work on. Why is it like this? Well, that's just the way it has always been done. And when you have an industry that does things the way that they've always done them, it's very hard for them to change and do the right thing. It's not that they're cheating anybody or trying to rob your money. It's just that's the way it's done. And also, that's what students expect. When they join an IELTS course, they want to be taught everything, even though they don't really need it. So what I did, I decided to set up a writing course that just focused on writing, because people were constantly coming back to us and saying, yeah, I got the scores that I needed for listening and reading and speaking, but I didn't get the scores here. So I said, okay, let's change how we do things and do a whole 8-week course just on writing. And this is what it looked like. So weeks 1 to week 5, we focused on writing task 2. And then the last 3 weeks, we focused on writing task 1. And scores really, really did improve, but I still wasn't happy because there were a number of students who were still failing the test. And there is a very good reason for that. If we looked at a lot of the students' scores and we looked at their essays and we looked at their task 1 responses, some of them, for example, only needed help with grammar, or some of the students only needed help with introductions and conclusions, and everything else was fine. So just like the previous course, they were wasting their time. So we had one student who is very, very typical of a student who is failing the test over and over again because they keep getting 6.5, 6.5, 6.5. And for her, the only thing that she needed to work on was grammar. So this was a waste of time, this was a waste of time, this was a waste of time, this was a waste of time. She was fine with task 1. Her vocabulary was pretty good, but she just needed to focus on grammar. And until she fixed her grammar issues, then she was never going to pass the test. And this is something that we see on our VIP course over and over and over again. People stuck at a 6.5 for just 1 or 2 reasons. So this was a complete waste of time for her. And a lot of the students kept failing because we were only spending, this was 2 hours out of a 32-hour course. But then we had another problem. I brought this up and started talking about it with other teachers, and what they would suggest was, well, if their problem is grammar, teach them a whole grammar course. Well, I hope that you can see the trend here. Her problem was not grammar in general. Her problem was articles and prepositions, meaning all of these other areas were fine, and a complete waste of her time if she was to study them. She just needed to focus on this area and this area. So for that particular student, this type of learning, which is the most popular, complete and utter waste of time. Articles and prepositions is probably mentioned 0 in this whole course. For this course, out of the 2 hours, it might be mentioned for 15 minutes, if they're lucky. But instead, by identifying the only reason why she was failing was these 2 issues and totally focusing her efforts on that for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, however long it took to help her improve those areas, then she was able to get the score that she needed. So by focusing on a small percentage of things and focusing on the things that really matter, she was able to get really, really good results. And that is what you guys need to understand and what you guys need to do in order to get the score that you need. So that might sound a little bit weird and a little bit strange. So let me put it in a different context for you. If mechanics were English schools, so imagine you bring your car to a mechanic and they have this mentality that an English school would have. What an English school would do if they were fixing your car is they would fix every single part of your car, even though only one part is broken. And that would take months to do. Instead, what a mechanic does is they take an hour or 2 hours just identifying the exact part within your car that is wrong and replacing it or fixing it. And that is exactly what you should be doing with your IELTS writing. Or imagine your doctor had this English school mentality. So you go in with a broken leg. If your doctor was in English school, they would tell you, well, you need to improve your diet and then lose some weight and then get more sleep. And let's check your blood and check your iron levels and check your hormones and all of these things, when really you just want them to fix your leg. All right, imagine going in with a broken leg and they don't actually pay any attention to your broken leg and they try and fix everything else when there's nothing wrong with you. That is why most students waste a huge amount of time and waste a huge amount of money and get very stressed and fail the test over and over again, because English schools and the IELTS industry has this type of attitude. So how can you apply this 80-20 approach to your writing? Identify the specific reasons why you are not getting the score that you need, fix that or fix those if there's more than one, and ignore everything else. I'll repeat that. Identify the specific reasons why you're failing, fix them, ignore everything else. Extremely obvious and simple. That's just common sense, but very rarely is common sense applied in the realm of IELTS preparation. So let me give you an example of what we do with our VIP students. When they send us their essay, we don't correct every single grammar mistake and every single vocabulary mistake and tell them every single thing that is wrong with their essay. What we do is we put their essay up on the screen. We have a real teacher who records their screen and talks them through exactly what is wrong with their essay. Not every single little thing, but the things that are going to cause them to fail. So they won't focus on 100 different things. They will look at 1, 2, or 3 things and say, these are the 3 things that you really, really, really need to work on. here's how to improve those things, here's how to get better. And that's why we see such good results on our course. And many of you might be thinking, well, the problem, Chris, is that I don't know how to identify my specific reasons. Well, let me ask you this question. Would you try and fix your own broken leg? No, that would be absolutely crazy. Would you try and fix your own car? No, that would be absolutely crazy. Why do we have experts? Experts are there so that you can give them money and they save you a huge amount of time and stress and fix your problems. By trying to fix your own car or trying to fix your own leg, you're going to make things worse. You think that you're saving time and saving money in the short term, but you're actually going to waste a huge amount of time and money and stress in the long term. So what you need to do is find someone who really knows what they're doing, get them and say, I don't want a general course, I want you to tell me exactly what is wrong and exactly what to do to fix that. And because our VIP course is so successful and we have so many great results, we actually don't have any spaces available because of the level of support and feedback that we give our students. We only work with a really small number and we are completely full at the moment. But if you want to join our waiting list, you can click below and add your email address, and one of our course advisors will be in touch with you when one of our current students gets the scores they need and they leave. A place will become available. So if you're interested in getting our help and applying this extremely simple approach but extremely effective approach to your writing, just click the link below, add your email address, you'll be automatically added to our waiting list, and when your time is right, we will contact you and offer you a place. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.